Hello everyone, this is Scott from Exposition.com, and I want to be talking about Woff 2.0. If you're a web designer, you use Google fonts. In fact, I'm going to be using a lot of different fonts in the next one so it'll look better. The fundamental issue is Woff 2.0 is it's a better version than the typical font that you get. When you have a Google font, you'll mostly go to the website, you'll embed, and you'll get Woff. There's the file extension, the web open font. I forgot what it's called. Web open font file. I think so. And that's great. Woff 2.0 helps you increase your load time incredibly. In fact, the compression difference is about 30%. They'll load faster. Not only that, but there's better tools to help them load even faster than that. In Google Fonts, we have the ability to load them via JavaScript and load it asynchronously. Therefore, your pages will load all the text, the file, and then be stylized. Now that actually it works to improve load time, but a lot of websites do not like the idea because of the fact if they do that, it looks bad. Even if it's just for that second, it's going to look poor in quality, and they don't want that. And not only that, but their files are actually a little bit larger than they should be. And another issue with the fonts is they're not cached properly. So what do we have to do? Woff 2.0 decompresses the files even more, so they're going to load faster. We still have the same tools to load them asynchronously, but there's a fundamental issue. Most browsers do not support it. I came across this website right here, Can I Use, and it was Woff 2.0, and these are the green ones are the browsers that support it, and the red ones are don't. Look which one's always lagging behind. Internet Explorer. Interweb Explorer. This is not good. Not good. I don't know if Internet Explorer 12 is going to support it or not. However, there is some good news. Firefox is looking to support it. And default enabled for Firefox, Aura, and Beta, but release versions will have Woff 2.0 by default until security concerns are quelled. There is no large security concerns with them. I don't know of any main ones, but that's going to change very soon because Firefox is going to enable it by default soon enough. That was weird.
Okay, Google.
It's like my whole browser just reloaded. Interesting. So what's going to happen is you can use Woff 2.0 for your website. What you're going to have to do though is you're going to have to load both style sheets. You're going to have to load Woff 2.0 and you're going to have to load the first one. If the first one is incapable or is not supported, what's going to happen is that the browser is going to read through it. It's going to see that URL and it's not going to load it because it's not going to know how. It's because it's stupid. And they're still going to load that. The best thing you can do when it comes to fonts, and it's probably what I'm going to have to do, is load it asynchronously. On web pages and on browsers such as mobile, you're going to have an issue. Mobile browsers are slow. The mobile networks are slow. And you're going to have to come up with a decision, and it's going to be whether or not you want your pages to load unstylized for a few seconds until the fonts load, or are you going to just have a slower loading website. Until Woff 2.0 is widely supported, I don't see how this is going to work. I'm going to try it in the next one. I'm going to see if it's any better. I'm going to test the performance differences, but otherwise there's not a whole lot that can be done. Websites such as The Guardian do support it. And if you keep your browser updated, you are also going to be able to support it. In fact, if you do not have your browser being updated to where it should be, like your browser should be automatically updating. If you're using Internet Explorer, get another browser. Please, you're slowing down everybody else. Internet Explorer is so hated because it doesn't load things the right way. Internet Explorer tries to be different. They try to do different standards. They try to cherry pick what standards to follow, and it doesn't work that well. That's why websites will always use the if command, which is when you're creating a website, you have to include different style sheet or different options in the style sheet for older IE browsers. You'll also see it sometimes with Apple's Safari because they're just not smart. Yeah. God, I hate Internet Explorer. It's the best browser for downloading Chrome. End of story. If your company requires you to use it, I swear, talk to your manager or your IT department and say, stop using this, please. Because unless Internet Explorer wants to pull its game together and fix the problems and add support for proper web standards, it's going to become a major pain. In most situations, it does fairly well, but if you're doing a more complex website built off of more complex websites, maybe The Guardian, they already probably have their code ready for all the browsers, but a lot of websites come with Internet Explorer style sheets, and then the style sheets for everybody else. Firefox does support a good chunk more than IE. The best browser, though, for HTML5 and CSS has always been Chrome. Chrome and testing scores the highest. It supports the most web standards. Firefox definitely, well, I can't really include the Opera, Chrome, or Android browser. Opera is now built off of the Chromium project. They just update it differently. But their major releases do support it because they are now on the Chromium project. But Firefox uses their own, which is fairly decent in comparison to Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer gets dead last, and the standards that it supports, which is not good at all. Recommendation is if you're using Internet Explorer, I'm sorry, you can use it for other things, but Internet Explorer as a browser is not that good. It's fast indeed. I cannot deny its speed in testing and on the HTML5 fishbowl test, which processes how many I guess fish you could say on the fishbowl load. It scores the highest, and it has the highest frame rate. But at the same time, it has the least features, the least functionality, and it's just a very clunky browser all in all. I know Internet Explorer loved their new developer tools that was released in Internet Explorer 10 and 11, but in all honesty, I hate the interface. I hate it with a passion. If you're on an older system, the best thing you could do is get Chrome. If you are using IE 9 or below is generally my cutoff point. Basically, if you're not at Windows 8 level, go away. You need to get Chrome or Firefox or Opera. Opera is an interesting browser. The Android browser, no, get Chrome. Everyone uses Chrome. More people use Chrome than they do the Android browser. You know why? Because it is better. And this thing looks bad. I don't know why they include it. This, don't use this. Not until they're better. Opera Mini is cool and all, but just no. iOS Safari. If you're using this, again, try and find a better browser. Because I think every webmaster can agree, we are so tired of browser support, of having to do cross-browser supporting because they don't load properly here. Then we have to write the style sheet goes over here, and then we have to write a specific thing because it won't load properly in this browser, so then we have to go over here and do this, and then then this technology, which is actually fairly good, we can't do because, oh, look at that, a good chunk of the browsers on this list do not support it. It's just a pain in the butt. But if you are a webmaster, I do recommend trying Woff 2.0. See if your website will improve, and you can convert a Woff file to Woff 2.0. You're gonna have to use a middle ground of Woff to true type font, and then you're gonna have to go to Woff 2.0. So thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for another video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments box below. Make sure you like this video, and I'll be back with more. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.